Welcome back to IGN at Gamescom Now. I'm joined by Sergio and Fernando of Gato Studio Brothers, developers, creators of Waylanders. I understand you've brought an exclusive asset for us.
Yes.
All right. It's a teaser trailer, Waylanders, an RPG. Let's check out this trailer.
We are the wind on the sea. We are the wave on the sea. We are the sun that rises over the mountains. We are the mountains drenched in sunlight. We were. Where once we sung in harmony with nature, now we cry out for its destruction. Do those in tune with the old magics have any place in this world? There must be another way.
I understand that was just a teaser.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see the full thing. Tell us, what is Waylanders?
Waylanders is a classic party-based RPG inspired in beloved classes like Neverwinter Nights to Dragon Age Origins or Baldur's Gate. But with innovations like the tactical combat system that we have introduced, the special units like the battle formations, and but always keeping the classic style of the game. Also, the story is inspired by the myths and legends of the Celtic and medieval ages in the northwestern Spain and Ireland. And we have really a good team of talented international writers helping us to take this story to the next level.
And one of the things I want to kind of hit on right away, because I think it's really interesting, is the concept of moving between two separate timelines. So you mentioned Celtic and medieval times. That's moving between Brigantia and medieval times. This is something the protagonist has the ability to do. How does that work?
Just during our game, we'll have our protagonist will be detached from time because an attack that have the magic attack that have at the beginning of the game, and he can move during that two ages, but the companions cannot do that. So the way we have to meet our companions in the Middle Ages is to look for their reincarnations, and they get up their memories. That would be very interesting from a writing point of view, because the reincarnation doesn't need to be exactly like his past counterpart. So if you have, I don't know, a sorcerer Egyptian in the Celtic Age, then she can be reincarnated, I don't know, in a monk Catholic priest in the Middle Ages. So in the moment that you awake, his memories is going to be very bad in his head. So that will create a very deep characters with deep emotions that will have very good for the dialogues.
Great. I think it's really cool that there are different parties in the different timelines, and we'll jump into the parties and the companions later on, but let's just discuss the combat. So when it comes to classic RPGs, I think there's, turn-based, real-time. Where does Waylanders fall on that?
Yes, our combat system is very unique, because we have it's real-time RPG with combat pause, and then we can. When we use the combat pause, we can queue our attacks, and then predict, making a prediction of what will be in the combat. And that mix between our combat pause, the queue, all the abilities we have, because we have 6 classes and 30 advanced classes. And with the formations, there is a possibility that you have to use 5, 4, or 3 members of your team, and then unite in a powerful unit. All that mixed together make a very deep combat with full of tactical possibilities.
Great. Are we about to see some combat now, or
Exactly. Just in
there's
this
a
moment.
fight a brewing?
Yeah.
I can't read the text, but I assume.
Yeah, well,
looks like
in
there's
this
gonna
moment you can select some election that determine how many enemies you will fight.
Oh, here
then
we go.
in this moment, if you see, I will select the sorcerer, and then teleport her out of the combat, and try to use some area attacks to maintain the damage in the middle of the field.
Oh, that's really cool. So you're queuing up attacks and movement.
Exactly.
Same time, and it's
all the
yeah.
time queuing that, and then well, I will select the archer to take him out of this mess that I have in the
Sure.
in the middle, and then well, you will see when the combat pause will turn down that all will happen very, very fast, because right now our main concern is to have a very fast combat, but very tactical at the same time. That so it's like when the player decides to do something, it's like or they want to take the plan, they will do very easy with the combat pause, because you can do orders in between frames, in between seconds. So it's
Gotcha. How do you find? Do you find that players kind of like will wait for the combat to kind of get to this point and then queue up orders for literally everybody and then let it play out and pause as needed?
And then, as you see, that's a formation. That's an orb formation that is right now containing the enemies. And then our archer that is down is protected because it will attract the enemies with our orb. And we have 12 formations, 2 per basic class, that will give us a lot of possibilities. You can, as I told, you can create a formation with 3, 4, 5 members. So if if you select to create with 5, you will have a most powerful formation, but without more the tactical possibilities, because you will use all the units.
Right.
So that's a balance that the players need to do. And apart from the typical military formations like the orb, the phalanx, or the arrowhead, you will have something special or not that typical formations. Like we have here a healer formation that is not a warrior or a tank, and in this case it's a 5-member formation that will create a very big magical creature with the life force of the other companions.
Is this the Brigantia timeline here?
Yeah, here is the Celtic Age.
How does the action change between the 2 timelines?
The moment that we will determine it, at the end of the Act 1, you will travel to the Middle Ages, and then you can change all the time between the 2 timelines. And we are very focused on have a lot of difference between the 2 ages. To Brigantia and the Celtic Age in general will be full of nature, with very calm place. The nature will be very important, and the color palettes will be more intense. And then the Middle Ages will have very busy cities, but with more
Technology.
present, technology or stone, but more buildings, and we want to create a lot of difference between that, because it's, the core of our aim is to show that war between the magic and the religion that we.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the kind of overarching narrative, what's happening, what the conflict is, as well as kind of NPC interaction.
Yes, during all the game, we focus a lot on the characters. That's the reason that we have very important writers that are very, very focused on the narrative. Like Emily Grace Back, that is our lead writer, and she's a specialist in the character interactions. And during all the game, how we interact with the Celtic and the Middle Ages, and the reaction, because our Celtic character will come from obviously a totally different world. So all the interaction with the world and the reincarnations will be the core of the narrative.
And who have you been working with to kind of flesh out this narrative in terms of the writing?
Sorry?
Oh, who have you been working with to kind of flesh out this narrative in terms of writing? You mentioned
the lead narrative of the game is Emily Graceback. he began to work with us more than a year ago, and we are very happy because the depth that she gives to the characters. And we have also been working before with Matt Laidlaw, the former creative director of the Dragon Age saga, who helped us to create a high-level narrative and to structure the game and the story. And also from the very beginning, has been working with us from 18 months ago, Chris Avalon. He's writing several of the main missions of the game. So I think we have a dream team, of writers, and we are very happy with the result that we are getting now. Really happy.
That's great to hear. Let's discuss classes, progression, how you become more powerful, and how your team becomes more powerful as you progress through this story.
One of the different characteristics that we introduce is, there's some games that you introduce the different that when you gain a companion, you can choose the class from from a bit of election. Like if you have Brick, there is a fighter. You can have Guardian or Warrior to try to adapt to the team, to the player, because in some ways I don't like when I cannot introduce a character that I like in the team.
Right.
And we will have 6 classes that I told. There's the Guardian, the Warrior, the Rogue, the Ranger, the Healer, and the Sorcerer. They're very typical. And then we'll have, in the middle of the game, in the third part of the game, we'll have advanced classes. There will be 30 advanced classes in the game.
Sure.
So
quite a lot of depth. So there's a lot to cover in terms of Waylanders. It seems like a very intricate game with the 2 timelines, a lot of stuff like that. Sergio, Fernando, thank you so much for joining me. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but you can find much more Gamescom coming up right after this.